Namaste, my dears. Today we have quite a beautiful sunset, and the wind is blowing. And I decided still grab to this moment and to share with you some fresh wisdoms. As yesterday came a very sincere and beautiful line of questions and a story of a person going through his challenges and changes, in which came a very interesting request and information about Amanita Muscaria, as the person has to take certain medications which eventually have an impact on the level of energy and the consciousness. And through that, when Amanita is being taken, there's an issue that actually Amanita increases the level of emotions, anxiety, rather than has the typical effect, um, that it helps to relax and lower down the impact of the reptilian brain. So I decided today to share with you a little bit more about the process of transformation, so you would know yourself better, that why it is that when we're starting our healing path, that to some people Amanita can give relaxation, but to other people, on the opposite, it rises the level of energy, the level of anxiety, sometimes the level of emotions, that a person can become quite more aggressive. And is it a good or a bad thing? And what does it mean? Now, how come there are such different effects? So partly I have already spoken on this topic, but briefly, and I want to go a little bit deep now. So all of us are like a walking hardware. Our physical body, our avatar, it works like a hardware, which means it saves information. It saves information, it actually saves our life experience, it saves our emotions, it saves our traumas, it even saves the chemicals in our body, and it all keeps it under our skin, in our body, in different parts, depending which type of formation that was, with which type of conflict that it was connected. And our body is just a very genius reflection of who we are inside, with our soul, with our life flow, with our work upon ourselves, and everything that we have gathered through our life experience, and everything what we have inside of us, in the sense how we communicate with ourselves on a deeper level. As you know, many people like to wear masks, and many people are prisoned by their sub-personalities, and they cannot be themselves. They don't even know what it means for them to be themselves. And eventually, even being a very positive and kind person on the outside, when a person is constantly betraying him or herself towards the profit of the outer world, for example, the person is very tired of the work that she doesn't like to do, or he have friends or people around him or her that are not resonating with the values or the true interests of the soul, but let's say the social norm pushes us to act nice towards people who are not respectful towards ourselves. Or for example, somebody is pushing us, like our boss is making us to work hard, when on the other hand we don't feel aligned with the amount of work that we do and the outcome that we receive. So all of these things, they literally form our body. And every time when we suppress something, it is staying inside of us. So the modern medicine, it focuses only on suppression of symptoms. If you look in the 20th century history of medicine, then all of our ancient medicine until the 20th century was focusing on healing the root. People knew that any sickness is connected to some kind of inner problem, that there was specific stress or a situation which created an emotional reaction, which later followed with the mental and the mind reaction. And through that, eventually, it has the impact on the psychic, it has the reflection on the physical body. So to understand the root cause of a problem, it was just important to understand to what we had that reaction, which situation created this issue. But unfortunately, in the 20th century, well, let's be honest, we got very strongly enslaved into the system. With the development of the public, let's say, schools, education, with the public medicine, everything that is connected with public and for free. Remember, nothing is for free, unfortunately, in the 20th century. And this is being continued in the 21st century, that the price that we usually pay, that we don't get that quality treatment that would really cure the cause of the illness, of the sickness. And people are being given mostly pharmaceutical chemicals, which in majority of times were made from oil. And you know that oil is a big profiting system controlled by a very small amount of players. And eventually the chemical health education was developed on the money of the same group of people that are controlling the oil industry. So as a result, when we're using chemistry made or medicine made out of chemistry, in many cases it has a lot of side effects, and in many cases it doesn't help to solve the root of the problem, because a magical pill won't heal you. The only thing that will truly heal you is, try to guess who? Exactly, you. Only you can heal yourself, because your body belongs to you, and everything happening inside of your body is a reflection of your life, your actions, your feelings, and that what you have agreed upon to live through in your life, or that you had to live through. So in any case, our past has formed us who we are right now. And in our past and all of that experience, even if it was rough, even though maybe it was unfair, even though it might be very hard, it is still our life experience. And any life experience can be a burden or it can be a gift. And in other words, the more harder the life by the person was, the more stronger the person can be. Or in the opposite, the more harder the life was, if the person is in the concept of being a victim, then of course that harsh life experience will create a victim from this person. A victim is a weak person that gives away the strength towards the outer authority, which means it can be life, it can be doctor, it can be parents, it can be system, it can be God, it can be everybody, except who? Exactly, myself. So, when we're starting our moment of healing and we're truly are trying to go to the essence, how come I am who I am, and how I can change my state of consciousness, my state of physical, emotional, and mental health, then comes a point where we have to dig deep. Digging deep is not something what many people enjoy doing, because looking inside we can find a lot of suppressed feelings. And feelings might have inside of them a lot of aggression, a lot of anxiety, because those were the things that we were suppressing for a long time. So what happens when we take Amanita? That if I had in my past many situations when I was limiting myself in expressing what I feel, what I want, then Amanita can send me that energy to become myself again, and the aggression will come out. Is it a bad thing? No, it's not. Please remember, aggression and being evil are two different things. Aggression is just a form of energy of not compliance of the soul. When your soul or my soul don't agree with something, it says the energy of aggression, and it is being sent, so we would do those actions which would transform our reality and help us to be who we are. Not to agree with that what surrounds us, not to fit in, not to adapt, but rather to adapt reality towards ourselves, or to destroy that reality, so to create a new one, to destroy old relationships, old work, old connections, old habits, old traumas, so to stop being the victim, stop losing the opportunity of creating that what I want. So eventually, when the person was suppressing for a long time something what he or she wanted, there can happen that Amanita will rise up your level of aggression or emotions, because they were inside of you for so long. Because this energy, it has to come out. It has to come out somehow, or it will come out in a physical form. So it can, or it will come out in emotional or in a mental form. But in any case, we have to assist ourselves to work through that what rises. I usually code this material as codes. You know, the codes got, let's say, saved, and then once we get a boost of energy, those codes start to rise up and they start to come out. So through that, I want to inspire for everybody who are taking Amanita and you observe that something is going and rising from the inside, not to be afraid, but to observe it, to observe what rises, what am I expressing, what am I telling other people, am I afraid of speaking honest, those things which I was keeping inside, do I feel discomfort of sharing that what I feel inside? So when something rises, observe it consciously. You can speak it out and you can tell your close ones, I have right now a process of healing. I'm just expressing that what I feel inside. Please don't be offended. This is my process of healing. And if you can, just assist me. Allow me to speak and just listen. You don't even have to comment. This is information for myself and expressing right now myself for myself. So, and once you do that, I highly recommend mark it down, see what you have said, pay attention on the things that you have expressed, because there's usually hiding an important part of your power, of your healing. And eventually, once that layer is opened and you start to become honest with yourself, then by allowing this energy to get transformed, you will start to feel finally relaxed. You will start finally to feel yourself. In other words, you will start to see that life is much more interesting. And you start to feel yourself, much better. And of this reason, I just want to say that it's absolutely normal that if you start to take Amanita, that there will be a period of time when you will have to see something what maybe before that you didn't want to see. And if you want to make conclusions, you need energy. You know, when for example, a person is taking chemical pills and their level of energy is always low, it can be good for a critical period and moment when it's very hard to handle, but then eventually comes a point when you have to do the work. You cannot simply suppress it all of your life, because that is not living, that is existing. To live, it means to feel. Feeling what I was suppressing and ignoring, an important part of the spiritual journey of understanding life. If we don't allow ourselves to live our feelings, then we don't taste life. Then anything what happens and everything around us loses its color. But if we allow ourselves to feel and we allow ourselves to express, if we allow ourselves to see what is on the inside, and we stop limiting our level of energy, then eventually we can become ourselves. And people who are truly happy and who are really strong are the ones who have learned who they are. They have learned what they want, know their values, they know what they want to create in life, and they don't make compromises. They really don't make compromises for the benefit of, let's say, of the people around or the system around if it doesn't comply with their values. Because every person came to this life for who? Exactly, for themselves. And every time when we die, we go away. How do you think? When you die, will the world die with you? Will your children die? Or will your boss die? Or will the government die and go with you there? Of course not. You'll be alone. You came here alone and you'll go away alone. So maybe it's time to allow yourself then to really understand who you are, and really to understand and to go through that dirt or even through that trash which was suppressed inside, or those hard feelings, as nobody told or ever shared that healing is an easy process. Life is easy once you go through this, but in the process it can be very painful. You can be in anxiety. They can rise up such memories which eventually you would wish not to remember. And but seeing them, integrating them, making conclusions from them, that is what gives you the strength. It gives you the wisdom. It gives you the fundament. As once you learn the lesson, it won't repeat. But if you don't learn the lesson, you will be constantly repeating the same and the same and the same pattern. And even though that a person might have an operation or the pill will suppress that pain for a moment, it won't go away. And another problem will come and another situation will play out. So all I want to say that find it normal in observing what happens to you when you start to take Amanita and ask for healing. As this process, what is happening, be the observer. Observe what is rising. Allow yourself to feel even anxiety, aggression, or those things which were suppressed inside. By allowing them to come out, you can transform them, you can understand them, you can make conclusions, and eventually through this, the change happens. The change that remains with you. It will stay with you even when Amanita fades away. And you won't need no pharmaceuticals. You won't need to go to a psychotherapist all the time. You can be a free and a happy person. So just remember, the biggest magic and the biggest and the best healer and the best doctor in your life is who? It's you. Your understanding of yourself, your understanding of your feelings, your understanding of your life and everything that you have created. Remember, you come alone, you live alone. And everything what happens in your life, it's your choice. And if you don't like something, well, change it. If you are not changing it, well, it means you're agreeing with it. Then it doesn't bother you. But if it bothers you, well, then change it. And if you need energy for that, the medicine plants are there for you. The same thing if you'll start to work physically, emotionally, mentally upon yourself, you'll have the same results. So I highly inspire all of you to keep the focus on yourself, to work out those things which rise up, not to be afraid of looking what pain or which darkness might come, and act, transform, and create. As you're worthy of that life that you feel inside you're worthy of. And only you can give yourself that life. And if in your life you have this hard path of healing, well, maybe this is a very special path which will help you to develop those skills, those wisdoms, and that knowledge that will bring you to the dream and to the goals, to the aims that your soul has set up to yourself. Just continue moving. Don't listen to the ones that limit you. Focus on the words and the people that make you feel inspired, happy, and make you believe in yourself and your true limitless power. So I hope everybody will be awesome, will be themselves, And I hope that this information will be a small inspiration of going through even those hard emotions which for a long time were closed and unlocked. You're worthy of being happy, and only you can give it to yourself. So please, leave in your comments if this information resonates with you. Share it with a friend who is going through challenges. Join our Telegram community, or join up for a course for the active spiritual seekers who are making the active spiritual work upon themselves, where already I share much more deeper and detailed things about our soul, our reality, our transformation, and I go very personal into going to things that matter to you. So, namaste, like and share, enjoy the beautiful life, and see you soon. Blessings.